From the Newstalk ZB newsroom, this is Newsfix.
In this update, those battling the Port Hills fire in Christchurch this weekend are relying on the weather. A team of almost 100 firefighters worked against the inferno yesterday, but it's not fully contained yet. Fire and Emergency Incident Controller Dave Stackhouse says after Sunday, the winds are likely to pick up.
Depending on how strong that wind is and how accurate the weather forecast is will determine our ability to use aerial response.
And weather may help firefighters in their battle against the Port Hills blaze. Met Service forecaster Te Poru Masters says there's not much risk of high-speed winds today.
About 13 kilometres per hour in the morning is the most you're going to get in the northeast flow. It does get a bit lighter through about 10 a.m.
Popular Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny's wife has spoken out following news of his sudden death. Navalny died after collapsing and losing consciousness at a prison where he was serving a long jail term. He was an outspoken critic of President Putin and has been jailed since 2021 on charges widely viewed as politically motivated. As translated by the BBC, his wife Yulia Navalnaya says she doesn't know if the news is true.
But if it is true, I want Putin and all his allies to know that they would be held responsible.
The appeal courts upheld a High Court decision which found the Defence Force's COVID-19 vaccine mandate was unlawful. Lawyer Matthew Haig says it's a fantastic decision which protects the fundamental human rights of Kiwis. He says he wants to see action.
I call on the Chief of Defence Force to reinstate everybody who lost their jobs because of the unlawful mandate.
And that's news. I'm Donna Marie Lever. To sport, New Zealand has secured a first ever Test Series win over the Proteas, dodgily eking out a 7-wicket second Test victory in Hamilton. Kane Williamson batted the entire fourth day to hit an unbeaten 133, chasing 267. And South African skipper Neil Brandt was in awe.
Doesn't leave his bubble, to be honest. When you watch him, he just stays there. He just focuses on the next ball. Really respects the game from what I've seen. You know, he never throws his wicket away and is always hungry to bat. So I think a lot of us can learn from that.
Playoff basketball beckons for the Breakers following a 103-87 win over the Brisbane Bullets in Auckland. Kayaker Amy Fisher's off to the Olympics after combining with Danielle McKenzie to win the K2 500-metre Oceania qualifier in Sydney. And swimmers Erica Fairweather and Eve Thomas have qualified for the women's 800-metre final at the World Aquatics Championships in Doha. And that's sport.
For more news, listen to Newstalk ZB live on iHeartRadio.